You're listening to the Unreasonable Fridays Podcast Network.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of ADDSpace. I'm your substitute teacher, Justin LJ90 on socials. Aaron is here. He is just fulfilling his producer role in the background today. We all know the real reason why you guys are here. You're not here for me. You're not here for Aaron. You are here for our glorious leader, CEO, CFO, head of distribution, head of security, procurer of the pop culture references and memes. Bacon, how's it going today?
I got old titles and new titles, and now Justin's giving me work.
Yes, I come back, I give you new work. That's how this works. That's how this friendship works.
This is how this friendship works. And now I'm pushing the work back out to you, Mr. Substitute Teacher. Who is our special guest today?
We do have a special guest today, and it had to be a special occasion to get me to come out of semi-retirement, to get me to return to the microphone. If you're a fan of this podcast, that probably means you're a fan of Final Fantasy XIV or just a fan of video games and anime in general, which means this voice will be incredibly familiar to you. Wooklamot from Final Fantasy XIV. Sena Bryer, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was, if you hadn't said my name and who I voice, I was going to do my best Colin Ryan impression and really trip you guys up.
Okay, but I want to hear the impression.
Alice, are you all right?
Yes!
That is scarily good.
Yes!
Hi, Colin. But thank you so much for having me on the show.
No,
thank you
for being here.
Yes, thank you for being here. It is a joy. It is a pleasure. Speaking for myself, I thoroughly enjoyed Wooklamot just as a character, and your performance as Wooklamot was amazing. Before we get into all of that, I do want to start with like the standard questions of just how did you get into the space of voice acting? What you really enjoy about it, and just your journey to get you to where you are today.
Oh goodness, how much time do we have? Okay,
However long as we want.
So it all begins in the year 2004. Unironically, actually, though, because the funny thing is I'm a lot older than everyone thinks I am. That was when I graduated high school. And
hey!
I didn't want to follow in my my father and my grandfather's and probably other grandfather as well's footsteps and be an engineer. I wanted to do like writing or theater or something. So I also really wanted to be a voice actor. I loved cartoons and video games and that sort of stuff. Fast forward a few years, I realized I'm trans, and I saw what they were putting Maddie Blaustein through, so I set it aside for many years. Focused on being a writer instead. Got my degree in English, all that good stuff. Eventually, moved out to LA for a completely different reason. But I was out here, and I was like, well, you know, you're in the city, maybe you could make it happen. So I just kind of didn't jump right into it, but I took a class, found connections through there, ultimately found my first agent through there, just met people, started working on indie stuff at first, a lot of audio dramas. Eventually, got into an anime role, some AAA games, got SAG-AFTRA, and then received a certain audition that the games these days, they always try to for obvious reasons, they got to mask what it is they're talking about with code words and all that stuff and code names and everything. But sometimes if you're a real fan, you know exactly what it is. And first thing I did was hyperventilate. And then I put the best damn audition I could put the best audition I could. I had a weekend to do the best I could do. Got a callback. Saw who was in the callback. Figured, okay, that's as far as I get. But you know what? I'm happy. Then a week later, I was waiting in line at Chipotle, and they got an email saying, hey, they want to make you the voice of Wooklamot. So I went in, recorded my first stuff, couldn't talk about it for a year.
Goosebumps on the I'm in Chipotle on the line and I got the call.
Oh,
Like,
I
oh my
literally was
God.
trying not to cry as I'm ordering this burrito. Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna have like I will have some random questions
Sure.
from some people that may or may not be in RFC, and I've been holding this a secret from for for a month. And the best part is they're ADD, so they won't even remember me asking these questions. But one of our members is a trans Latina lady,
Mhm.
and she really wanted to know. She had two questions. She wanted to know like how your experiences in the industry has been as like a queer Latina, but also were your parents supportive of it? Because she has immigrant parents, and they just had very different expectations for her
Mm.
than
So
others.
my parents, only my dad's side is Latino. My mom's side
Mhm.
is all German. My parents were both supportive, but you have to go back. I have to go back to my grandmother to the first person who moved, I guess, stateside, not to the States because she's Puerto Rican, so it is the US. Um,
Mainland?
Mainland, yeah, the
Yeah.
continent side or something. Um, so I can't really speak to the first generation immigrant experience, which is why a lot of I get sent a lot of auditions for that are very much looking for that because oh,
Oh,
we need a
interesting.
Latino person for this, and I'm like, it's not me, sorry,
I
thank you, but
like kind of you're in the kind of right direction, but go that way.
yeah. I'm gonna pass on it. I'm gonna let someone who can speak better on this. It's not me. Positive representation and voice acting, very important, but I'm gonna push it aside for a sec. Um, but my parents they were both supportive. Like they were not unsupportive. They were both supportive.
Probably
They were just
like a
kind of
little
clueless.
confused at first.
They just they didn't know anything about it, which is surprising because they were both like hippies in the 60s and 70s. Um, but yeah, I'm grateful that I didn't really experience like unsupportiveness, rejection, that sort of thing. Um, I say maybe if some of my grandparents had been alive by the time I come out, maybe possibly, but who knows? Um, uh, Yeah, and nowadays, like, I mean, I came out in the very beginning of 2007, so it's been almost 20 years now. Um,
Mhm.
and it's become so like they've known me as a woman longer than they've known me as a boy. So it's like
Mhm.
it doesn't even it's like yeah, complete support by now. Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm always like
I
I'm always
consider
so
myself very
happy to
blessed
hear
there.
it.
I understand like I feel so badly for people who have just completely lost their parents for that reasons and it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I'm always to hear like I'm always happy to hear like any sort of positivity or happy stories because like I feel like queer folks just don't get enough of that.
Mhm. Yeah. Or
So
it's either like all the queer stories you hear are either like, they're historical pieces where this person died at 24 or something, or it's like, and everything is perfect. And it's like, no, there could be other stories, y'all.
yeah, I definitely appreciate definitely thank you for sharing that. Justin, did you have a question? I forgot. I think I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I wanted to touch back on the auditioning process, specifically something you said. You said you saw who got the call back. You're like, oh, okay.
When I was like in the studio and I saw I was like, oh, I'm never, no one's ever going to get me to say who it is, obviously. But I
Right,
saw
right,
some
right.
some big names and I'm like, oh shit, okay, all right, okay.
So
Um,
how do you balance no like walking into that room seeing these names and then like the revelation hits you like, no, I'm in this room, I belong here. Like, how do you balance that against like feelings of, like you said,
Imposter
oh,
syndrome.
that, yeah, that's the phrase I was looking for. Yes.
I guess I feel that more with the initial audition than I do the callback.
Mm.
Because if you get the callback, that means they listen to you and there's something they like. And that's out of your control. Like, that's them. That's not you. That's them. They saw something they like. And it's like, well, if I say I don't belong here, then I'm saying you're wrong. And my brain's like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I would say the imposter syndrome I fight a lot more in the cases that I've done the casting for projects, because then it's all in my hand and I feel like, oh, I'm doing this client wrong or something like that. Now, callbacks are all, I mean, audition, like when you're, because auditions aren't like they are in the old days where it's like, I've only like, I can count on one hand the number of times the initial audition has been, hey, they want to bring you into studio to record. That's very, very infrequent. It almost never happens anymore. It's usually, you know, it's at home. It's in the booth that I have behind me right now, where I just have the copy and I'm guessing at what they want. Once you get to the callback, and I feel like most voice actors absolutely agree with this, it's like I can finally figure out what that meant. And you tell me, oh no, the character's much more reserved. I'm like, oh shit, okay, got it. Yeah, hell yeah, got it. It's so much easier to be confident once you are in the building. That definitely is another thing. Once you are in the physical building, it is so much easier to be confident in what you're doing.
Yeah, I had a kind of a follow-up question for that because you were
Sure.
saying that recording isn't like how it used to be, and I was actually wondering like how has it been like pre and post COVID? Not, I mean, we're not really post
Oof.
COVID, but
No, I know what you mean though. Post lockdown.
post lockdown, yeah.
Yeah. Even because I got my first agent in 2018. Excuse me. And even then, it wasn't often that the initial audition was in person. That was still very rare.
Mhm.
The only times it was most of the times it was because it was actually for a mocap thing, because they had to like see, like it was one it was this was like an animalistic like being or something. I can't remember what it was, but they were like they wanted someone who could like mocap mimicking like cat movements almost. So it's hard to do that. You can take a self video, but it's hard to do that. Um Really what COVID changed, honestly, um what it when 2020 hit, it really changed there were ups and downs for voiceover. Like thankfully it wasn't on camera, where on camera kind of just shut the fuck down. Like it was stopped. Um Voiceover, you could still record from home, which is amazing for it opened up so much opportunities for remote workers, like people who are not in LA, Dallas, New York, London, whatever. Um Sadly, a lot of that has been lost. But it kind of, on the flip side, it kind of changed the game that only people who could afford home studio setups could then, I don't want to say compete, but work at a triple A professional level.
Let
Um,
more people get in the door.
yeah, it let more people get in the it let more people get in the door regionally, but less financially, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because, like, speaking myself, I lived in Westlake in LA, which, if you know, that's a very working class Latino neighborhood. I was recording in my closet. I was working at Starbucks. Um, and I was in 2018, 2019, I was getting, well, more 2019, not so much 2018. I was getting auditions for big games, like AAA games and like huge industry projects. And then 2020, that kind of stopped for me. That like completely stopped, almost. Yeah, pretty much almost completely stopped for me. Um, which eventually led me to just create my own project by and around like the summer, because I was just doing nothing. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this without making something for myself. Um, Thankfully / unfortunately, the world started to think that COVID doesn't exist anymore, which meant we started going back into studio, which eventually meant my career at least bounced back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Mostly in 2022. 2022 was crazy. Literally, I think it was like January 2nd or 3rd or 4th. Like one of the very first days when everybody went back to work, I got an email saying, "Hey, we want to bring you in. We'll Taft-Hartley you for your first SAG job." And then after that, like a month later, I got my current agency, and 6 months later, I was a full union member. And yeah, it's COVID has definitely been interesting for the industry. There's a lot of folks who came up during 2020, 2021. A lot of folks who are doing really well now, like started around that era. Um, some just because I guess they were in lockdown and they didn't know what to do. Some who were mostly on camera actors and then wanted to like pivot somewhat. But it's definitely interesting looking back now that it's been like long enough.
Yeah, it really feels like there's like a really wide range right now.
Mm-hmm.
More so, not saying that it was like limited before, but I'm seeing more of a variety across games and even in independent content. Because one thing I've noticed is like after a while, it's like you see the same names circling around,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, you still do. You
and
still
you still
definitely do.
do.
But I think, yeah, like 2022, 2023, I feel we're like the height of like studios really branching out and like really getting in a lot of new talent from underrepresented ethnicities, gender identities, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of been a regression, but a slow regression,
Yeah, it's not
which I
been
do feel like a lot of
immediate.
people in the industry are recognizing and being like, "Hey, let's not do this. We had a good thing going on here."
We can still have a good thing.
Mhm.
I'm hoping that it doesn't regress how it was. And
There's definitely, I feel like I've definitely felt some changes with the new administration. Sadly,
oh
it was
yeah,
kind of we kind of got hit with the double combo of the SAG after video game strike,
yeah,
um, like plus the new administration happening in the same like 2 month, 3 month span.
yep.
Um,
And the
it
push for
it
AI.
kind of did a lot of damage. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Not
it
saying the
did.
strike was bad because the strike was great. I was on the picket line, but like everyone kind of like still has there's that residual. Oh, that person was an asshole. I hate them, or whatever during the strike. But also like I mean, okay, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat for the listeners here. These studios here, they saw the new administration and they thought, well, we don't have to hire these people anymore. And okay, tinfoil hat off. All right, I'm fine now. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm
That's
normal
not a
again.
No,
that's not a
that's not
tinfoil
even a
hat.
tinfoil hat.
Like that's not even subtext. That's the text.
That's
Like
what happened.
we just got a bunch of reports today about CBS basically axing their entire
Oh yeah, that definitely happened. I guess I was
yeah.
speaking specifically voiceover, but yeah, no, across the industry, it's absolutely happening.
Yeah, it's happening
All
everywhere. It's
industries.
like all the air quote progress that 2019, 2020, 2021 we started to see, they looked up and said, "Oh, we don't got to care about that anymore.
Mm.
Back to
I
business
can't
as
wait for
usual,
the day I
guys."
put out a solo project and someone calls it DEI when it's like I didn't hire anybody. It's just me.
Yeah.
Even by the literal definition of DEI, it doesn't make sense because it's just me. I didn't hire myself, bro.
I am putting out a very diverse solo project.
Mm,
Diverse solo. All the diversity is
yeah.
right here.
Oh, so it's a Solange project. Got it.
Yes.
I Okay, I have two thoughts. I'll get back to the second one later, but I do want to go back to you brought up being on both sides of the fence, being both an actor and a casting person. So how
Mhm.
would you say your experiences on both sides have helped your experiences? Like as someone that goes into these auditions, how does that help you know what you're looking for in an audition or
Oh.
guide folks in an audition and vice versa?
every single time I cast a project for someone else or myself, my auditions get so much better because I realize, oh, right, that's what we're looking for. That's what doesn't sound good. Okay, yes. Or I get some ideas. Like, for the game Cryptmaster, I cast that back in over the course of like most of 2023, off and on. And there was one character who had a hip hop section in it where you completed his rhymes. It's like, okay, we want someone who can rap. We just put that like that would be a plus in the sides. And then one guy who didn't end up being our final choice, I think mostly because he sounded very similar to a main character. I can't remember exactly why. That happens a lot, by the way. If you can have the best audition, but it's like, yeah, but you sound like the main character. I'm like, oh yeah, you do. There's a big discourse about should you slate your auditions? Like, should you say like Sena Bryer reading for so and so, or just Sena Bryer? This guy went like, if I'm gonna use my own name, he went Sena Bryer reading for, and I was like, oh shit, wait, that's good. That stands out. I remember that. And later, I've told the story before that I don't think this is why I got the audition of Wuklamat, but it's certainly, I mean, it's got to have helped me stand out. Is I learned how to slate, and I learned how to say "good day" in ancient Mayan, and I just said that in the beginning of my audition.
Oh, that's really cool though.
And it's like, this was not long after I was casting that. I was like, okay, something to stand out in the beginning, because they're going to be hearing the same thing over and over again. They're going to be hearing, "Hail, adventurer, from what lands do you come from?" at the beginning of every single 400 auditions they've got, and it's going to run in your head over and over again. So I was like, okay, any way to shake that up. So sometimes if like the character, if it fits the character, say like the character's like Hypnos and Hades, and they're always sleepy, I might go, "Hey, Sena Bryer, reading for Hypnos," or whatever. Or I might be like, "Hail, adventurer. So, what lands do you hail from?" Just anything to shake it up.
That's so cool though. I'm still tripping on the so I learned how to say this in ancient Mayan.
Like,
That
it's just such a
did really
Like I
casual
said,
flex.
I wanted to, when I learned what I was auditioning for, I wanted to put the best fucking audition I possibly could out there. I still remember it. It's Impulsacking.
That's so cool.
That is such a casual flex. Just
That's
like,
such a casual flex.
like by the by, so it sounds like, and we know this because we've done our research on this end, but it does sound like you are a fan of the Final Fantasy space, the Final Fantasy genre, the Final Fantasy games, and just MMOs in general. So how?
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, they're fine.
All
They're cool.
right.
It's whatever.
All right, they're kind of cool. They're kind of cool.
I only put a
So-
little bit of time in.
Yeah.
So how was that realizing? Like when you said you realized, oh, this is what I'm doing. Oh.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't kidding. I almost hyperventilated. Like I had to sit down on the couch for a bit, and then I put out. I recorded something real quick while I had the energy in me. It was on a Friday, I think. I listened back on a Saturday, and I was like, okay, next time you need to breathe, Sena. Got it.
But I feel like that energy, the energy of hyperventilating, super excited, not breathing, that's kind of Wuklamat when we first meet her.
Kinda. I was probably really nervous when I first went in. My second line, I dropped the accent for one word, and I'll never not notice it.
It's okay. Wuklamat is definitely just like such a very personable character. I kind of appreciate one of the things I appreciate about Wuklamat is she's both like very cool, but also
An idiot?
a little orange cat energy.
Yeah. When I learned what this character was recording the first day, I went, "Oh, she's Monkey D. Luffy, stupid. Oh, I love her."
Yes.
What?
Oh my
what-
god. I've been
Bacon. What
thinking-
did I say? What did I say?
Justin, I I told you first. What are you talking about? I told you she's Luffy. So Justin is our One Piece spokesperson, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to Dawn Trail later. And so I was on my you need to play this game so I can talk with you about it. Please play through the expansion. I was telling him like, Book Lamont is Luffy. I need you to play this.
I mean, FF14 is the One Piece of JRPGs. Like, it really is.
It really
when
is.
people come to me like, how do I like? How should I don't know? It's so big, and I'm like, you've watched One Piece, yeah? You got to treat it like One Piece. Like, it's the world's longest JRPG. You just gotta get in there, take your time. It's about the journey. It's about your nakama, whatever.
That's so great. I'm gonna use that on people now because that's one of the things I've always liked about 14 is I really feel like it respects your time. You can put as much time into it as you want, and you get a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm only on Wano arc. I have not started EDK yet. Please, no spoilers. I'm waiting for the anime to be complete with it so I can just binge it.
That's super valid. I haven't started One Piece yet. It's a little daunting right now, but I said I promised Justin that once the re-release comes out,
Oh yeah, they're doing that. I forgot about that.
I will watch it from the beginning with the re-release, but it is too daunting as it is right now. But if I'm there from episode 1, it'll be fine.
Have you watched the live action version?
Not yet. I lost my Netflix.
It's actually really good.
That is what I've heard. I'm actually really interested in watching that too. How has I definitely want to like I asked this as a double question because I got too excited, but I definitely want to come back to it.
Yeah,
how is
I can't remember what the other part was. This is the reason I'm on this podcast. I couldn't remember what the other part was.
How has your experience been in the industry, like as a queer Latina?
Oh, right. So it's kind of interesting, and it is kind of depressing. But when I first came into it, like really, I mean, I kind of hinted at like there really wasn't a space for me if I wanted to come out, if I didn't want to be closeted, like back in the 2000s. When I really started to like jump back into it in the mid 2010s, I remember meeting with like, I was in LA and I met some people who are like industry vets, and they were like, they were like, oh, I remember more than one telling me there's a really big push for diversity and inclusion. You gotta put forward that, like, yeah, I'm trans, I'm Latina, that'll get you jobs. And they were right. But what I found is it really, it opens the door for you, but that it opens the first door. But the second, the third, the fourth, and onwards, it's kind of like, oh, you wanted more doors. Oh, you're not just happy with that? And it's like, no, man, I want a career. Whereas like, yeah, there was when I got the audition for Justicia in Need for Speed, they were specifically looking for a trans Latina actor. They didn't tell me she was black at the time. I didn't know until the game came out.
Oh, yeah. I often know that they don't tell the VAs that stuff.
But I was like, oh, trans Latina, cool. There's like 5 of us in voiceover. But my crusade for like the past 3 years has been like, just bring me in for, I can just, there's no reason I can't just be like town guard number 2 or, reporter. And there's one guy in who I would love to sing his praises from to the world, but that would be a breach of privacy. Who gets this, and I love him for it because they'll just bring me in for like Walla or whatever. And it's funny, other trans voice actors will be like, you got Walla? You got incidentals? Whereas a lot of my cis contemporaries would be like, oh, that's okay. You'll get main roles later. I'm like, no, dude, that's the good stuff. That's the steady work. That's the good stuff. But unfortunately, that's weirdly enough the hardest part to get into. And I feel like personally, I was very lucky that I got those big roles like Need for Speed, like Inuo starting out, because I feel like, especially as a trans person, it's not as bad as as a Latino. It's like I auditioned for both. The industry is getting better when it comes to casting proper representation in race and ethnicity. As you can see, like when there is a fuck up, like people will be very vocal about it online. That's like, hey, this is really messed up. You shouldn't have done this. Whereas we have some catching up to do with gender identity.
Yeah.
People often think like, oh, well, that's not, yeah, she's trans, but it's like, is that what trans women sound like? I thought they were like high sopranos, or, oh, the character is a trans woman. Well, get any trans person. It's fine. It's fine. And it's like, well, no, it's really not. And there are also some studios that I have been, quote, on their roster for 5 years now, and I've never seen anything other than like, hey, we need a trans person. I almost said a bad word there. Almost a different T letter word there. For this. So thankfully it is so much better than it was. Like, would I have wanted to be a voice actor, in my 20s, in the 2000 late 2000s, early 2010s? Yes, absolutely. However, we've gotten so much. I say this, sorry, it's hard for me to go on about this and not sound like a doomer.
No,
we have
it's fine.
made incredible progress. However, there is still so much work to do.
Oh, it's okay. Everybody here is Black, and we really understand how this works. Like, it's recognizing the gains and like how important and like how monumentous, how important they are, and just like, especially when you compare like today to like 10, 20 years ago, even like not even that far back, like there has been quite a lot of progress. Like even the things with the current administration is literally because there has been so much progress. So, but at the same time, like the bar is in hell.
Yeah.
You can only go up. So like there's always more work to be done, but we should also at the same time recognize
we should celebrate our dubs. Yeah.
Yes. Celebrate the wins while also recognizing that we got so much more to do. So I don't think that's being doomerish. I think that's just being realistic about where we're at, if that makes sense.
That is being a marginalized millennial.
Hey.
That is being someone in a marginalized community who grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, and recognizing, I am a product of the crack era. I know how bad it used to be. And I know we got a ways to go.
Me thinking back and realizing, like, I had this realization, like, this must have been like 5 years ago. It was a while ago. Thinking back to my, because I'd always thought, like, I mean, if you've seen a picture of me, I'm obviously very white Latino. Like, it's not even like, yeah, I'm Latino, but I'm like, look at me, dog. But and thinking back to like, I've always thought like pre-transition, I was like, well, I lived as, I was basically a white boy, basically. And I lived with that privilege. And then thinking back, it was sometime in the height of the pandemic. I was thinking about this, and I was thinking back to high school, and I was like, wait, no, someone did use slurs on me. I totally forgot about that. I repressed that all my life. Holy shit. Latino slurs, I mean,
Yeah. And so much of that, the shared experience across marginalized identities is repressing a lot of that for the sake of just getting by.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just being like, okay, cool.
I'm going to pretend this didn't happen so I can get my bread.
One of my favorite sayings from one of my favorite shows, the game is the game, and we all recognize the game is the game.
Yep.
I
Hey, but they changed the rules of basketball over time.
Hey, we added the 3-point line. Like that was not always
exactly.
a
They
thing.
had the 3-point line. Exactly.
Um, before I get to the next question, I have one for both Bacon and Sena. Have you heard the news about what Toei is doing with One Piece?
Hello, no.
I
You're-
have been avoiding most. I kind of just avoiding a lot of One Piece news. Mostly because I really want to avoid spoilers. I already know a huge one in the Egghead arc. And I'm like, okay, I can't know anymore. No, what are they
Okay.
doing?
So after Egghead is done, One Piece will be a seasonal anime.
Yes. It's every other week instead.
No, they're not even doing every other week. Like once they finish Egghead, they're taking a 3-month break, and then they will only do 26 episodes of One Piece a year. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna make it way easier to catch up on stuff.
They finally heard all the
Hopefully that
complaints.
means they fix the pacing a little bit.
Yep.
Because like I can deal with the pacing to an extent. Like I still prefer the anime over the manga because I think the manga just goes way too quick when you're reading it. But the last few, like Dressrosa and Wano were like, okay. Okay.
Oh, Dressrosa especially is
Yeah.
for the anime is it's a lot to get through.
It is a lot.
And One Piece does a lot of like Naruto and Bleach, the way they stretch it out is they just do filler arcs. What One Piece does is
they did 4 years of fillers, yeah.
Yeah. What One Piece does is they'll just stretch out a single scene for 2 episodes.
The Dragon Ball Z approach, yeah.
Exactly. Hey, the Toei method, baby. We got something that works. If it ain't broke, we not go fix it. You talked about the gains and the progress that we've made. I want to touch on your experiences with the union and just how you feel. I mean, I think I know how you feel about it, but just the importance of unions in your industry.
I both love and hate SAG-AFTRA. I love the work they're doing. Without them, this industry would go to hell and probably wouldn't exist in 10 years from now. Be entirely real. I think without the work they've been doing, there are certain big name voice actors who would be more than happy to be the last generation of voice actors, as long as they get their paycheck and their convention deals. And that shit sucks. But at the same time, my God, they have the worst PR of any on the planet. Like it and some of the gaffes they make, and it's like, you are making our work so much harder. But yeah, no, once they get boots on the ground, they do some work. I think a lot of the like quote issues people have with SAG-AFTRA are more stemmed from things that should remain in union confidentiality spilling out into social media in a way that did not happen before this era because social media didn't exist. Like I can't remember who was saying it no, it wasn't in a meeting. It was someone who was in the meetings I was talking with. I can't remember who it was. I was just talking. They said that like it's the meeting halls that we should be yelling at each other at, not social media. And unfortunately, that's kind of not the way these past couple strikes have been, especially the video game strike, where people are rallying their fan bases to try to get their point of view to be more socially accepted, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I am a full union member. Also, I live on a busy street in Los Angeles. There's loud engines going by all the time.
Oh no, it's fine. Aaron's used to that. I used to live next to a highway. We're good.
Anyway, I think so I think as far as unions go, like obviously there can be very bad unions too, like police union. But for the most part, I think they kind of are, like, with how encroached upon every facet of life corporations have become. Like, we're getting back to the era of scripts. It like and like corporation towns, company towns, that unions are so incredibly important. That even if we don't agree with what they're doing, we need to have them to exist, and if we can support them. Um, this latest, the reason, sorry, I remember now the reason why I was talking about social media is because so much of the anti-union stuff in this latest video game strike has been from Hoyoverse fan games, specifically when Hoyoverse was not a struck company. And I think that is like the perfect example of how social media is like kind of polluting strike, like the union's ability to enact action, where it's like, why are we fighting this thing? We're not even like, I'm sure the people at SAG-AFTRA, I don't know, because I'm not a member. I don't, oh, no, I am a member. I'm not like on the committee or anything like that. It was like, why are they talking about this? We're not even like, we're happy there's people in solidarity with us, but we're like, why is this what we're fighting now? we're wasting resources here, kind of thing.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I'm actually really glad you brought up the company towns because a lot of people thought that company towns were a thing of the past, and they never were, to be honest. But the fact that they're coming back with a vengeance, and some of it is also being pushed through AI, as in like they're trying to build up facilities that are to support the 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 technical needs of AI and whatnot all, and at the same time are also trying to use AI to replace voice actors and actors and musicians across everybody across like all across arts across the board.
For those that may understand conceptually like what a union does, but not maybe the day to day, can you give an example of like one thing that SAG or one or two things that SAG-AFTRA does to support its members or to support actors in general?
Well, as the largest acting agent or union in the world, I believe, they do kind of not officially, but unofficially kind of set standards. Like I'm like Equity in the UK or ACTRA in Canada, they definitely look to SAG-AFTRA to be like, okay, this is what's happening in the US. This is, we should push for this stuff as well. Like, but also like if you're like on a more like material level, they provide health insurance if you make a certain amount in union jobs. I think it should be lower. I think there should be a scale below the level, but that's just me. They provide pension. They they also like your guaranteed rates. Like if I go in for a video game session and it is union, I'm getting 11, well, gross, I think, I don't know the number is now. It's net would probably come to more like 900 or something, but like gross, I'm getting like 1100, whatever it is, that day, no matter what. There's none of this, well, it's 250 an hour or it's 400 an hour. Oh, and this one doesn't have a 2 hour min. It's only versus it. Oh, there's no 10% this time for agency. They set, no, this is the rate for this contract. So they also, it's very nice. When I'm, now that I'm working union stuff, I don't have to think about I don't have to think about like how much am I setting aside for federal state taxes? They do that automatically. How much am I setting aside for this? That's done automatically. It is definitely a higher playing field. I do think it is kind of an issue that once you join, you're kind of, unless, if you're any kind of marginalized identity, you're probably not going to work for quite a few months because suddenly you're, going from a non-union only level to a much, you're suddenly, what's the Prince of Egypt song? You're playing with the big boys now.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of a realization I had that like, oh, I'm auditioning against like Hunter Schafer and, Matt Mercer, and I'm auditioning against some big fucking names now. Okay, got it. I got to bring my A game to every single fucking audition now, as opposed to like, well, yeah, I might get this.
I was about to say, yeah. I don't, and you don't have to answer
yes.
this question, of course. But I was
Oh,
like, do you?
sorry. I forgot to say I was mentioning that to be like, um, there is some more that they could do, obviously, that I think that some kind of support or leniency network to like some kind of leniency to when you for new members to gradually get up to that level instead of being thrown in the deep end would help. But, you know, at the moment, AI, as you said, is kind of an existential threat to the industry. And that's why the strike was about AI and nothing but AI.
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to ask. I was about to ask how, like, do you feel supported, or do you feel like the union could offer more support in those areas? But you pretty much answered that question.
I mean, both. I think if you're not asking your union, I think if you're not asking your union to do more, like, because a union is you, like, it's not a, and I had to like teach myself this as well because, you know, growing up, you know, as a millennial, like we're taught to think that like it's corporation, everything is a corporation, it's a business, and it's like, no,
Mhm.
actually, this is like we vote for union president and vice president and whatnot. And God, I'm so glad we're doing Sean Astin. He's amazing. But um, it is like you are the union is you. They work for you. You don't work for them. Like there's a thing I can't talk about, obviously, but that I've emailed to be like, hey, this is something I'd love to put towards you guys. Could we make this maybe, we could get the word out and see if we could make this a thing that could happen? Because I think like if you're not like active in your union, like I mean, cool, I guess, but you're missing out because you actually have the power to do something, and maybe you should. I think if you should do it, especially if you have qualms with your union, let them know. They can't fire you.
And also, they can't really improve if you don't bring up your concerns and issues.
Exactly. Especially if you're like, the proletariat like I am, like, if because they're not going to listen to you by themselves, unless you say something.
Mhm, mhm.
Exactly, and that's. I think you put it perfectly. They work for the general you, as in like, we're members of this union, but they exist to help us. So it's a communal thing.
Mhm.
It's a community thing. It's not, like you said, it's not the corporation of SAG-AFTRA. It's the union. So we're all united to get this thing done.
And it's so hard, specifically as Americans, I think it's so hard to get through our heads, like to get rid of the what can they do for me, and it's like what can we do for us. It's so hard to train yourself off of that, but I feel like once you do, it's a no brainer. Like join a union, if you can,
Yeah, if there's one available, if you can, um,
or if not, get
start
people
one.
together and make one. It's working for Blizzard employees amazingly, apparently.
Yes, it's
I was
that.
at I was at Yerba Buena Gardens at GDC last year when they announced the Game Workers United. I think is what it's called, Game Workers United. Like they
Yeah,
just did that,
yeah.
and
It's really
U.S. law
interesting.
says it has to be recognized.
Yeah, it's really interesting. As like a millennial, watching unions die, but also unions come back within our
hmm
lifetime because they were dying when we were kids.
Yeah,
And so we entered the workforce without unions, except for like some of the
all we
major
knew was
ones.
the training videos at like Kroger or wherever. They're like, if someone comes, just tell them no. Like it was like taught us like with the same cadence that like Dare just say no to drugs was.
I forgot about that.
I saw someone with a Dare t-shirt the other day. It's kind of fresh in my mind. God only knows how old that t-shirt was.
The generation raised on Dare brought back microdosing. That will never not be funny to me.
Oh my god, we did.
Like we brought back microdosing, y'all.
Oh my god, we did.
Our
Jesus.
grandparents are like, hey, I mean, that worked wonders for us. I don't know why y'all tripping. Um, I want to shift gears just a little bit.
Sure.
The I guess the role that sort of, I don't want to say put you on the map, but definitely put you on
Oh,
a lot of
definitely.
folks' radar.
The role that multiplied my Twitter following when I was on Twitter. The role that multiplied it by 10 times. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
They got me convention deals. I definitely.
So what is it like being Wook LaMotta? Like, what have you enjoyed about the character? What have you enjoyed about voicing the character? What have you enjoyed about interacting with the character as a fan of the game?
This is probably going to be the most disappointing answer, but at the core of it, it's a job. It's
That
a
is
job.
so real.
It's a job.
That's
That is
so
so real.
real.
But no, obviously, like I am so incredibly grateful to the folks at Square Enix for Kate and Koji and Yoshi P and everyone there for giving me this, because it's changed my fucking life. Like, I can only imagine I'd probably be still working at Starbucks right now if I hadn't gotten. I'd probably have to go back there because I lost my game dev job that had let me quit Starbucks. So I'd probably be back there right now, or I don't even know if I'd be doing voice acting right now. Also, I'll be real. Excuse me. I do get that sort of like childish, not quite. Well, it shouldn't have happened. It should have happened to me, but like, it does stink when there's something you're really gunning for, and then you don't get it, and you comes out and you're just like, oh, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to play that or whatever. I still haven't played Armored Core 6 because of it, because whatever. If that had happened with 14, which I had played for 12 years, I don't know what I might have done. I might have really hit me. But no, I'm so glad that anyone can headcanon her to be whatever they want, but God, I'm so glad I get to play a 19-year-old cisgender girl in a JRPG. Like, holy shit, is that so validating? Like, my God, that's just like, I can't believe I got that. Like, granted, she's like 7 feet tall and she's a giant lion lady, but it's still like, so it makes sense they probably want a lower voice for her, but it's still like, oh my gosh.
That's gotta be really validating. That's
It
so
really
cool.
is.
Like, I hadn't really thought about it until you said it, but like, because I am trans. Like, I'm non-binary, but I am trans. But I totally understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's
it's the
so
same where
cool.
like I have some friends who are trans men, and when they get to play like an older guy and not a boy, they're just like, fuck, dude, this is the coolest shit ever. This is what I'm talking about. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, we're like the K-pop demon hunters, that one where they're just like, yeah, yeah, at each other.
We did it. We made it.
We did it. We beat stereotype and dysphoria. We fucking did it, guys.
The final boss of Dysphoria has been conquered.
Yes.
I think that feeling of validation that you spoke to was so real. Like, when you said that, I was like, yo, that's real shit. Like, I'm glad I was muted, because I actually clapped when you said it. I was like, yo, that's real shit right there.
That was definitely another like goosebumps moment for me. I was just like, oh my God, that's so cool. Can't even I can't like imagine it, but like I can, because I play 14 and I'm not a casual 14 player. I could like really see and identify that. I'm like going through like, all the scenes through Dawn Trail in my head, especially like some of the more, to me, like iconic parts. I'm just like, oh, that's so cool.
So
It was also kind of, I remember there were some moments also weirdly validating in the recording where my brain is like, oh, she's younger. I have to go way up here when I'm talking. And they're like, can you actually bring it down? Oh, like down here? That's it. Oh shit, they want this. okay.
they,
Like
they,
earlier on, that when I was still really establishing the voice.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that I was actually wondering about this because I'm still learning about voice acting and how like the actual more kind of technical stuff about it. What like how does how is like the direction when you're voice acting? Does that make sense? Like how does the actual like how do they direct
Um,
you?
I mean, it depends from project to project. Um, Sometimes, like for say for like yeah, if it's like Waller Incidentals or whatever, it's like does it and it's a dub. Like, does it fit the time? Yeah. Does it sound about right? Yeah. All right, cool. We're good. But obviously something for like Wook Lamont where it's like by the end of Dawn Trail, there were two directors and Kate, uh, and another writer and the engineer. Like it was we
That's
were
so
really
much.
getting into it. Like we were, and uh it's not too different honestly from directing a movie or rehearsals in a play. Obviously, like theater plays a little different once the show's actually going, the director sits back and there's nothing they can do. They have to see the fruits of their labors, but it's a collaborative it's very collaborative effort. Um Obviously, if you're the actor, you don't want to be too much in the director's chair like, well, what if we did it like this? And it's like, no, you trust them, trust the director, trust, the director's trusting the writer's trusting you, you trust the director. Um uh Also sometimes just because I the narrative online, I need to set the record straight. I've done this before that people will say, "Oh, the direction wasn't there in some parts of Dawn Trail." There are like 500 people at least working on Final Fantasy 14. It's not the director's fault. Things just get lost. Either we don't know what the energy is supposed to be like, or we don't know how this cutscene is played out because we don't have that information yet. So we go with what we can. My director for Dawn Trail was fantastic. Some of his like it's very easy to see the things that didn't work and very easy to ignore all the things that did work. And I
Mhm.
would have been completely lost without him. Is all
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
say.
Yeah, no, it's that's first off, I appreciate you saying that. I wasn't even going there, but I
Oh
appreciate
yeah,
you
no, I
saying
I
that.
figured like you all weren't gonna like say that, and be like, so what happened with the original the original final boss lines? And it's like I figured you all weren't gonna do that, but I was like, I hate how the narrative like obviously I hated it when the narrative was like, oh look at the Sena Bryer can't voice act, and it's like, no, I didn't know what it was going to be like. But then like then the re-records came out. Oh, clearly it was the director's fault, and it's like, no, I don't think he really knew what it was going to be like either because it was really early on.
Yeah, a
Internet,
lot
you can't just blame one person. I know that's what you like to do, but you can't. That's not how this works.
nuance on my internet.
Uh,
Yeah, well, I mean, while I don't know how the full process goes, I do, and I know Justin and Aaron, like we tried to research into just kind of like how some of this goes. We also know some
mhm.
other voice actors, so we've kind of learned a bit as we go. Um, and we also know that a lot of times this stuff comes out well before like any of the imagery comes out.
Yep. Like I was
It's like
mentioning with Thisia, I did not know. I knew what her car looked like. I was like, oh, that's which is the most on-brand Need for Speed, you can
that is
imagine is
very
like I knew what her car looked like.
that's
Um,
the only thing you know.
I mean, Need for Speed fans did not give a shit that she was trans. They're just like, she's a 350Z, cool. I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Need for Speed fan too. Yeah, we don't care about that. I mean, I care because I'm excited because I'm like, "Ooh, I love seeing representation across the board," which is also part of what, like, made me especially happy with Dawn Trail and the,
Mhm.
casting choices in Dawn Trail. I was just like, "Oh my god." There's, like
Their Need for Speed for all of EA's many, many faults, um, I think it was Criterion, did some really cool shit with Need for Speed. Like, I think my favorite example of representation in that game is that made it clear they weren't just like ticking off, a checkbox like the Burger King kids or whatever. A millennial reference.
a
But there's one character, I believe her name is Yongha, who is Muslim, and she's the one character you cannot gamble with. And it's like, because she's Muslim.
I love that.
And like that's so fucking cool, actually. Wait.
Yeah. So I come from the opinion, I say this a lot of the time, that like EA is not the devil. All of these publishers are. There's like an industry and studio wide problem. Yeah, it's just industry wide problems across it. But like EA does have some cool studios under it that do some really cool stuff.
Apex Legends also has done some amazing representation. Shout out Melly.
Amazing. I am constantly upset that I cannot do that sort of arena fighting, like the way that the drop-in arena fighting.
Yeah.
Because I would kill to play almost all the characters in Apex Legends, but I am terrible at that genre.
That's me with Deadlock right now. I'm trying to get good at it because the characters are so cool, but it's really hard.
Me with any fighting game. I'm like, oh, this looks awesome.
Yeah, same.
The Guilty Gear, my beloved.
Yes, Arxis games specifically. Because I'm like, oh, these look gorgeous. Guess what? I'm never learning how to play.
It's especially funny that everyone focused so much on that one scene, the final boss scene, and completely did not notice we also re-recorded the alpaca scene.
I did notice. Well, I noticed the alpaca scene because I was getting through it, but I did find that funny. Nobody said a word about the alpaca scene.
Nobody ever said a word about it.
Yeah.
There's also a few others as well where it was like they got the final scene in and it was like, oh, that character, we thought they were 10 feet apart. They're 3 feet apart. Okay, we need to bring it in a little bit. And they've been doing it the whole time. They also did it with an Asahi line ages and ages and ages ago. It's just a thing. It's common. No need to make a big deal about it.
It's a thing, and honestly, I personally think it's kind of cool. I didn't want to make this the Don Trail discourse discussion. I'm just going to say this one thing about it.
Okay.
Because I finished it late.
He did.
And when I finally finished 7.0,
2 weeks ago,
I was like, yo, y'all were tripping. Like, not y'all on this podcast, because come on, if you're listening here, you have good taste. But I'm like, y'all were tripping. This was amazing. I don't know what the game that y'all were talking about is not the game that we played. This is something else, y'all.
It's people say it's Stormblood 2.0, but honestly, the more I look back at Stormblood, the more it kind of becomes, it's kind of getting up there as like maybe my favorite expansion. Hey, One Piece reference.
There you go.
Would you agree or not? Stormblood is the Fishman Island of Final Fantasy XIV.
100%, right down to the Hody Jones allegory with Yotsuyu. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Wants to talk about something that goes a little bit over everybody's head, and and just saying.
Yeah, I definitely, so like for me, Dawn Trail is, I can't place where it is exactly for me yet because it's not over and I do it by expansions. I'm also a notorious Heavensward hater, which is and it's because of the writing. My only issues that I had with Dawn Trail was some of the writing on the main story, but none of my issues are what anybody on the internet's talking about.
It's died down. It's died down. It's
yeah.
The grifters have moved on to something else. Like
that's what I wanted to get.
I'll tell you what it was. It was the moment Ghost of Yote was announced, and I was like, Erika Ishii, thank God. I'm so sorry for what you experienced. Thanks you so much for taking the heat off of me. Thank you.
It really was though.
It was literally the moment because it was like a month after Dawn Trail came out that was announced. Everybody forgot about it.
Because you called it. It's a grift. These people are not serious. We should stop pretending that they're serious people.
They get paid by the click. So if you don't pay attention to them, they realize this isn't profitable and they move on to something else. That's what they do.
Yes. And they're on something right now. Aaron, Justin, what are they on right now? My brain is not working. Silent Hill. They're on Silent Hill right now. Never mind.
They're on Silent Hill. The F literally stands for feminism. Sorry, creator. Voice of God said it. Sorry.
I was like, wait, what is it right now? It's Silent Hill. They're on Silent Hill F. It's actually kind of funny because with Silent Hill F, it's now coming around because there's a cycle to these. After you've been through a lot of them, there's a cycle. So like the people who don't really pay as much attention or only pay a little bit of attention to the quote discourse unquote have like, oh, I now have the money to get it. I got the game. I have now played through the game. They're like, what? What are you all? What? I don't.
It's too late. You said it on the internet, homie. We know where you stood.
Hey, we got receipts, homie. Like you said, we got receipts.
Yeah,
the receipts.
I've been watching the reviews on Steam of that game, and we're back up now to mostly positive. So I know there's gonna be another game that's gonna come out that they're gonna get all in a tizzy about. But yeah, there's definitely a cycle to it. I'm not gonna say I didn't have issues with the writing, but all of my issues with the writing are the same issues that I had with this particular writer on something else that he did in the same game. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time.
And
I'm a baby when it comes to horror games. I ain't touching that. Sorry.
You and me both. The one horror game. So the first horror game I tried to play was Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I played Dino Crisis, and that was like the T-Rex jumped out, and I'm like, nope. Okay,
no, I remember the Dino Crisis on the demo disc. I remember that.
The scene where it's like, wait, there's a dead body in here.
Resident Evil, but dinosaurs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Core memory.
Oh, I love that game. I played so it's very random what doesn't trigger the terror button in me. So like I could play Dead Space.
Nah, homie. Nah.
No, I'm fine with Dead Space. Alien Isolation? No, absolutely not.
Alien versus Predator back in the day. Oh my god.
AVP back in the day,
like
no.
Nothing.
No, not doing that one. I have played, like, I'm a huge Parasite Eve fan. Back to the PS2.
Parasite Eve is cool. It's really
Parasite
funny.
That's
cool. How you know Nomura worked on both that and FF7 Rebirth, because I'm like, you played FF7 Rebirth and you're like, oh, this is Parasite Eve gameplay. Oh, this is Parasite Eve.
I've
no one around you knows what the hell you're talking about. You're like, okay.
I know, because, well, Parasite Eve, Silent Hill, and Resident Evil all came out at the same time, so you were one of those three camps. And I was Parasite Eve, and that's the only one that has not gotten a remake, and I'm just sitting here going, Squeenix, please.
That would kill today.
Please. But Silent Hill F, I've been listening to Aaron play it a lot, and it's apparently all on like gender in society and gender roles, and the way I am like, okay, when I have funds, it might just happen and I will cry my way through it. But like, I am so invested. It's hitting that critical analysis part of my brain, and I just want to go in now.
That's how you know it's good. Once you start like actually thinking about that's like, oh wait, that means it's good. If I actually want to like think about it and like I want to change this and this and this, that means yep.
What? Politics in my art? Preposterous.
Art is literally
Do you remember when we played Metal Gear Solid and games weren't political, you guys?
Listen.
My favorite was when remember when they completely redid the Wolfenstein series?
Yes.
When they made the new games. I was in the chat for the Twitch release for that one. And I was reading the chat, and I'm like, Wolfenstein has always been about killing Nazis.
It's always been about killing Nazis.
It's literally the core theme. When I was in like middle school, people in grade school, people would literally say, "Oh, did you play Wolfenstein? Did you know it's banned in Germany because it's got Nazis in it? You're killing Nazis." And so
that's like the same like religious people like banning Diablo when it's like, no, you're an agent of heaven. Like,
you're literally an agent.
You're killing the demons.
That's actually how I
You're
got
doing God's work. What are you talking about? Come on.
But people were like, this game is so political. Why is this game like we shouldn't be having divisive content in this day? I'm like, it's Wolfenstein.
But also, if killing Nazis is divisive to you,
Yeah, exactly.
buddy.
I just, I have so many questions. Wolfenstein's also one of my favorite genres, so that was just like one of my like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's up there with, because now there's a whole wave of people trying to say that One Piece is not political, and I'm like,
Huh?
excuse me.
What?
It's not even subtext. It's the meme. The military exists as the largest army of the billionaire class, and they will enact genocide. Like I'm like, that's the text of this, guys. The
Fishman
first
Island was literally about generational trauma where a guy in a do-rag freed slaves. Like, you can't make this shit up, man.
the brilliance of Fishman Island is when they say, okay, Hody, what horrible thing happened to you? And he said, absolutely nothing. I hate y'all because I hate y'all. I was like, oh, this 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
No notes.
And
no notes.
I remember the time when that chapter came out, and nerds on the internet were like, this is such a letdown. I'm like, you don't fucking get it.
Hey, I'm with you. Like, he dropped that. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. He's not supposed to be a Doflamingo with like this tragic backstory that doesn't actually justify his him being a jerk at all. He's supposed to be a loser that latched onto someone's actual grievances, but because he's not a full person himself, he's a loser. Anyways, that was so good.
And this has been your One Piece.
One Piece episode. Yeah, sorry.
No. Anytime
like
Justin's on the show, it's
the words they
episode.
say to activate the Winter Soldier. You said it. My brain was like,
No. This is why we have him here.
That is my gift. You give me a topic, I'll find a way to relate it to One Piece. Like one episode, I randomly took John Stockton, J.K. Rowling, and related it to One Piece through Rurouni Kenshin. Like,
yes, it's pretty brilliant, actually.
Okay, so I hear the stunned silence, so I'm actually going to explain how this went down.
No. I believe it. I'm nodding with you. You can't see it, but I'm nodding with you.
Okay. Because it was during the time the All-Star game, and the NBA was like, yo, guess who's not going to show up in Utah for the All-Star game? John Stockton and Karl Malone, because they're terrible people, and we don't want to have to answer questions about why we're letting them out in public. And I was like, guess what Warner Brothers isn't doing? They're still letting J.K. Rowling run her mouth for reasons. The Harry Potter license can't be that it can't be that profitable. It can't be. It just cannot be worth the headache at this point.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell, to be honest. Like, I'd be looking at them numbers and I'm like, damn, people really don't be supporting what they say they do.
Yeah, that's the other part. I have had a great time. This has been an awesome interview. Sena, you are an amazing guest. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything that you are allowed to talk about that you want to plug that is either out now or upcoming?
Actually, well, I do stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SquidSena. But I just literally yesterday this was announced. This will probably be out by the time this podcast drops, because the first episode's coming out on the 3rd. I am voicing a character I can't talk about just yet, but you'll know then. Haha. In a indie animation by the developer of Nightmare Cart, formerly Bloodborne Cart, who is doing an indie animation called Bunlith the Witch Upstairs. And also I am in a going to be in a audio retelling of Frankenstein. And I'm playing Victor Frankenstein in that. And it's just me putting on my best Liam O'Brien the entire time. Sometimes transatlantic, sometimes not. Always tragic. Yeah.
I'm excited. My new goal is to get into audio dramas.
that's where I got my start. My very first um very first thing I was cast in was also, I think, I don't know if it was their first. The some other voice actor acquaintances of mine, AJ Beckles, Anjali Kunapaneni, it was also their first, I believe. Ananias Quinones was also in it. She'd been doing stuff for a while. But it was Kalila Stormfire's Economical Magic Services, and it was a lovely little magical realism sort of podcast. But yeah,
I'm gonna check that out. I got hit with a disability that affects my processing, so I've been moving from reading to audio, and so I'm like, okay,
ah,
let's try out audio dramas now. And so
I do also not a whole lot of work in audiobooks, but a fair amount of work in audiobooks. I did narrate the Hugo Award winner for Best Novel last year, Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. Very good book. That was
all of
one
these are
I
on my
was
list
like,
now.
I'll probably just do like, it kept happening where it's like, I'll just record like 1 or 2 chapters, but I was so engrossed in the book that I recorded like 5.
That's funny.
But yeah,
We will make
no,
sure
thank
that
you
we
so
chat.
much for having me on this. This was lovely. I love chatting with you guys.
Thank you
Hey.
for joining us. I've been this entire time trying really hard not to just like fan out in awkward ways. I'm just like, oh my god, it's Waklamat.
It's all right. It's all right.
Definitely.
It's kind
thank
of
you so
funny.
much
I
for
had
being
that
here.
like, this was kind of like, to totally just interrupt the outro. How I kind of like felt that I was like, oh, I could do voice acting is like, I got starstruck once. I got starstruck once, really big, got it out of the way. Hasn't happened since.
That's really funny, actually.
It was really embarrassing. I hope he doesn't remember it, but
Yeah, I from people I've met when they're usually very tickled when that happens,
Mhm.
even if it's awkward at the time.
Yeah.
So I always just try to keep that in mind that somebody is somebody's fan.
Yep. That's a good way to put it.
And we are fans of you. And thank you for
We
doing
are.
this. Hopefully, we can find another occasion for you to join us.
Yeah.
And
totally.
for the rest of you, thanks for listening. And we'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up.